Hi PSYC100 students. I'm going to show you how to search our library website for an academic article that will help you answer the question you've posed for your curiosity paper. Remember, one of the main requirements of this assignment is that you use a psychological journal article to answer your question. Now, this might not be the only source you use. You can use other sources you've come across, but you are required to use one scientific journal article. And probably the best way to search for those is by using our library's website. So from the school's homepage, you can scroll down and then click on Library here. Once this loads, you see in the middle right here a search box, and we want to search for articles. So right now books is selected. We're going to select articles, and then you can type in your search terms. Now for me, I'm interested in whether or not participating in a sport has an effect on self-esteem for girls in particular, but maybe for girls and boys. So I'm going to search sports participation and self-esteem and gender. I'll click search. Now, if you're like me and you're not on campus, you're going to be required to put in your last name and student ID. And if you enter it correctly, it should take you to your search results. Okay, so you see for mine, I have 1 out of 20 here, or 1 out of 10, but 20 complete results. But before you get too excited, what I want you to do is come over here and click full text, because this will limit your search to only those articles that you can read in entirety, which is a requirement of the assignment. So once we click full text, then you'll probably see that your search results get reduced. And here you see I've got 6 results that I can actually read. And when you look at the result, you see the title. Then you can also see some other information here about the article you're looking at. And the first thing you might do is just see if any of these titles are interesting. So the first one maybe, oh, this one's about sport participation, boys and girls. Yeah, maybe I'm interested in this one. So what I would recommend is coming over here to the spyglass, and you can just hover over it, and then you get more information about this paper. So we see the title, A Longitudinal Investigation of Sport Participation, Peer Acceptance, and Self-Esteem Among Adolescent Girls and Boys. You also see the authors, and then you see the source, and this is from the journal Sex Roles. I know that that's an academic journal. It also tells you right here. Now, just because you use the library website doesn't mean you'll always get academic journals. You might find an article that comes from Psychology Today or perhaps even from Time Magazine. And while these might be interesting, they will not qualify as an academic journal article. So right now, things are looking good for me. Like I might have an article that will help answer my question as well as meet the requirements. What I recommend you do next is come down to the abstract. This is a very short summary of the article. So you can read this and see if you're actually going to want to click on the full text and get into the article more fully. So as I look at this, I say, yeah, maybe this is interesting for me to read in entirety. So then you can click PDF full text. And this opens up the whole paper. You see mine is 7 pages. That's a very reasonable length for an academic journal article. You see some of the same information, and all of this source information will be needed for your citation. And then when we scroll down, you get to see the abstract in its entirety. And then the paper starts. And in psychology papers, there's a predictable series of sections that we write about. The very first one is called the introduction. Everybody should read the introduction thoroughly, because this will talk about background information. It'll give you previous research on the topics, and this will be really great for helping you really understand your topic. One thing you should start to notice right away is within the text, there's a lot of last names and years. And that's because when we're writing for psychology, we cite information all the time. We're always referring back to previous research. If you're reading a paper and you don't see any type of citation like this, then you're probably not reading an academic journal article and it's time to go back to your search results and find another source. Okay, so in your introduction you might have subheadings like here, girls in sports in the United States, sport participation and self-evaluations, a summary of the intro. And then if you are reading a original research paper, then the next section is going to be the method. And in the method we talk about our sample or our participants, so that is information that will describe who is used in the study. So it's usually about age and ethnicity, gender, just other identifying information. Within the methods, you'll also learn about the measures. So how was data collected? What was the maybe questions that were asked? And you usually get procedure, so exactly what happened in the study. That section, the methods section, definitely read. There's going to be some details that might not make sense, and that's okay. You don't have to get too concerned about it. Next comes the results, and the results section is written in statistics math language. It's very technical. As you notice here, we write in equations, so most of us aren't going to understand what all this means, and that's okay. Put your eyes on the results section and then move on. Not a problem to be confused when you're reading about this technical statistics language. The reason why it's not a problem is because the last section will be the discussion. And in a discussion section, the authors should write about their results in plain English. So it'll give the same information from the results section, but with a little more context and in a more understandable way. So the discussion section is another section for you to read very thoroughly. I'm guessing that the intro and discussion section will require maybe 2 or 3 good reads for you to truly grasp all the information. When you get all the way to the end, you'll notice the references. It's pretty exhaustive. It's a list of every other source that these authors cited. If there is no reference list in your paper, again, that's probably a sign that you haven't read an academic research paper and you should go back to those results. Okay. I hope this gives you a good idea of how to get started in looking for an academic research paper that will help you answer your question for the curiosity assignment. Of course, if you have any questions, you can message me, get a hold of me through Canvas or email, or give me a call. You can also ask our librarians, who are always happy to help any student with research. Thanks a lot.